Getting injured at work begins a second battle beyond physical recovery, navigating a workers' compensation system designed to minimize payouts through systematic claim denial and benefit reduction. Insurers and employers deploy well-documented tactics to avoid liability, leaving injured workers fighting bureaucracy while dealing with pain, medical bills, and lost income. Understanding these denial strategies and effective countermeasures is critical for workers whose livelihoods depend on securing rightful benefits. The initial denial is almost standard practice. Insurance companies know most workers lack resources for prolonged disputes and will accept lowball settlements or abandon claims from exhaustion. Common denial justifications include claiming the injury wasn't work-related despite occurring on company property during work hours, arguing pre-existing conditions caused the injury, and attributing accidents to worker negligence or intoxication without evidence. These denials are often boilerplate responses requiring minimal justification, shifting the burden onto injured workers to prove their claims. The pre-existing condition argument deserves particular attention for its cynicism. A warehouse worker with minor arthritis lifts heavy boxes for years, then suffers severe back injury during overtime when fatigued. The insurer claims the pre-existing arthritis caused the injury, ignoring that the worker successfully performed the job for years and that the acute incident occurred during work. The medical reality that pre-existing conditions can make work injuries more likely while work still causes the acute damage gets lost in adversarial proceedings where insurers weaponize any prior medical history. Delayed tactics serve strategic purposes. Insurers drag out investigations, request redundant documentation, and schedule multiple medical examinations with company doctors who predictably find workers capable of returning to work. Meanwhile, injured workers face mounting bills, lost wages, and sometimes eviction or utility shutoffs. This financial pressure creates desperation, making workers vulnerable to settlement offers far below claim value. Accepting a few $1,000s to avoid homelessness seems rational when facing immediate crisis, even if it means abandoning tens of thousands in legitimate benefits. The company doctor system is particularly insidious. Workers' compensation often requires evaluation by insurer-selected physicians who perform independent medical examinations. A misnomer since these doctors derive substantial income from insurers and know that finding workers disabled reduces future referrals. These doctors routinely minimize injuries, declare workers fit for duty despite contradictory evidence from treating physicians, and provide opinions favoring claim denial. Workers can sometimes obtain second opinions, but insurers aren't required to accept findings from worker-selected doctors. Surveillance represents another intimidation tactic. Injured workers reporting disabling back injuries may find private investigators documenting them carrying groceries or playing with children, activities the investigators present as proof of fraud. The reality that people with chronic pain have good days and bad days, that carrying one bag of groceries differs from 8 hours of repetitive lifting, and that parental responsibilities continue despite injury, gets ignored in favor of gotcha videos suggesting malingering. Effective countermeasures begin with immediate, detailed documentation. Report injuries immediately, even if they seem minor. Delays enable denial claims that injuries occurred off-site. Seek medical care promptly and describe symptoms comprehensively. Gaps in medical records become ammunition for denial. Keep copies of everything: injury reports, medical records, correspondence, and witness statements. Document the accident scene with photos if possible. This paper trail becomes critical during appeals. The appeals process, while daunting, succeeds more often than initial claims. Many states report that 50% or more of initial denials get overturned on appeal, suggesting systematic initial undercompensation. Legal representation dramatically improves outcomes. Workers' compensation attorneys typically work on contingency, taking a percentage of awards only if successful. They understand procedural requirements, can obtain expert medical opinions, and negotiate effectively with insurers, State workers' compensation boards theoretically protect workers, but quality varies dramatically. Some states have robust enforcement and worker-friendly regulations. Others have gutted protections through reform, legislation that actually reformed rights away from workers. Understanding state-specific rules, filing deadlines, appeal procedures, and benefit calculations is essential but complex. Financial survival during claim disputes requires creativity and community support. Some workers qualify for Social Security disability, though approvals take months. Food banks, utility assistance programs, and emergency rental help from nonprofits can bridge gaps. Some personal injury attorneys offer lawsuit loans against pending settlements, though at predatory interest rates. Family support becomes critical, though many injured workers' families are equally economically precarious. The psychological toll is immense. Injured workers describe the claims process as more traumatic than injuries themselves, being called liars, having their pain dismissed, fighting while disabled and impoverished. Many settle for inadequate amounts simply to end the ordeal. This is systemic design, not accident. Making the process sufficiently miserable that workers abandon legitimate claims is a feature, not a bug, of cost minimization strategies. Until workers' compensation reform prioritizes injured workers over insurer profits, the battle for benefits after workplace injuries will continue inflicting secondary trauma on those already suffering.